Good morning. I am Laura. I am the owner of Rustic Scoop. Sorry that I'm a little bit late this morning. I had quite a few things to get ready for us. We are going to make what we personally call turtle bread. It is also known as monkey bread. It is fantastic for breakfast or a brunch or any time of the day, really. If you want it for dessert, that works too. So we are gonna get started. We're just gonna be here 15, 20 minutes, probably more like 20 minutes this morning. And so if you would like to buy all four of our mixes, I will show you what all four of them are. They are called our sampler. We partner with the Food and Meat Co-op, and we love partnering with them. So in the sampler, you get one of each of our mixes. The first one is sandwich bread. This is the mix that we are going to use today. And then in the sampler also comes our pizza crust mix, pancake and waffle mix, and the last one is a chocolate cake and cupcake mix. All of our mixes are gluten-free and top 8 allergen-free. 2 of them are top 9 allergen-free. So they are safe for most and loved by all, no matter if people have food restrictions or not. So we are going to get started today. Again, we're making monkey bread, or turtle bread as we call it, because we think it's a better fitting name for what it looks like when it's done. And there's no actual origin of where monkey bread came from or the name. So we decided to call it turtle bread. But it is one and the same. You have the recipe on the blog, so make sure that you go pick up our recipe on the blog. I do have to make a little update to it. I apologize about that. I will get that to the ladies today. It's very small, but anyways. Nonetheless, I am using my stand mixer today, fitted with a paddle attachment. Now you can make this with a bowl and a spoon. I actually did it this morning, so you don't have to have a stand mixer if you don't want. I would not suggest using a hand mixer. It will be too hard to do unless you have little bread hooks with your hand mixer. You can do that, but working with a bowl and a spoon works too if you don't have either one. So we are going to get started again. If you'd like to buy our sampler, just in the comment box write sold 100 and the sampler is yours. It's one of each of our mixes. So we're gonna start with bread, our bread mix. And we're just gonna dump it here in my stand mixer. If you have questions, let me know. I will do my best to get to them, if you have any. And then your mix will also come with an extra bag of psyllium husk. It is included in your order. And so I'm just gonna put mine in here. And then I am going to get this down on the edges. I'm gonna mix just for a moment so it all gets mixed in together. And then if you have not ever really worked with yeast, or yeast makes you nervous, then you want to take your yeast and put it with your warm milk and your sugar and let it sit for about 5 minutes. That way you ensure that you know that your yeast works. If after 5 minutes it's not bubbly and foamy, it means that your yeast is not live and active. You'll need to start over. Because I do this all the time and I know my yeast works, I'm just gonna dump it in with my dry ingredients. We're gonna just mix to make sure it's all combined. And today I am making egg-free turtle bread. If you're just joining us, we're making monkey bread, as some people know it. We call it turtle bread. I'm gonna use a flax egg. If you've never made a flax egg, I get lots of questions about egg replacements. This is flax meal. You can either get whole flax seeds and then you can grind it in like a coffee grinder, or you can buy it already ground. It's better if you buy it and make your own ground, but either way works. And then I have 9 tablespoons of hot water here. And what this does is it will mix together and the flax gets very gelatinous. Now, maybe one day we can talk about egg replacements and why I choose the certain egg replacements I do in different recipes, because not the same egg replacement works the same in all recipes. So I would not use a flax egg in other things, some things and not others, but that's not for today. If you have questions ever, let us know. You can always send us an email or a DM. All right, next up on our list is going to be, and then we just set our flax egg aside so you give it time to gel together. This is 1 3/4 cups of coconut milk. You can use any milk that you want. This is what we always bake with because we believe it bakes the best out of all the alternatives, but whatever works for you is just fine. We're gonna mix until just barely combined, and then you're gonna add your sweetener of choice. We use coconut sugar, we don't use cane sugar as far as we can. The only time I really do is with powdered sugar because there's just not really any other option. But everything else we use coconut sugar. So whatever granulated sugar you want, you could also use honey, or you could also use maple syrup if that works for you. So I'm gonna mix this together. And then I have half of a cup of melted butter. And you want to measure half a cup while it's cold and then just microwave it. So it's not half a cup after you microwave. That's always a question we get as well. And then I'm going to add white vinegar, 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. Now, if you can't do white vinegar for whatever reason, we get lots of questions about alternatives for different things. You can use apple cider vinegar, or you could also do lemon juice if lemon juice worked for you as well, or if that's just what you had on hand. And I'm gonna mix a little bit. This comes together very easily. It's almost done, but my flax egg isn't. So I'm gonna talk to you about what we're gonna bake it in. So if you have a bundt pan is best because it has the spout in the middle, but it's not necessary if you don't have one. I only have one bundt pan, and I made a batch of monkey bread earlier today so I could show you what it looks like at the end. So I'm out. So I have, it's a cake pan. And if you have a ceramic dish that is short, I think you call it a ramekin, you can put it down here in the middle and you can make your own. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm just gonna prep this. You're gonna spray it with non-stick spray, or don't use avocado oil, we just know it doesn't work. Unfortunately, it's great for other things, but it's not great for non-stick. You can also butter if you want to butter with whatever steak butter you have, and then gently put nothing, or you can also put flour. We always suggest with gluten-free baking that if you're going to put anything, a flour in, you want to do a starch, so tapioca or arrowroot starch, just because of the consistency and you don't want it to be grainy. So I'm just going to spray here. Now, if you can't have soy, you're not going to be able to generally use a spray, because a lot of them have soy. Okay, so that is ready. You just kind of want it in the middle, and then I'm going to set it aside until we're ready. Okay, so now I'll show you our flax egg. Oh, my spoon. I'll show you what the flax egg looks like, because I get asked this question all the time too. So it's going to be kind of watery still on top, but underneath you can see it's kind of gloppy, gooey. That is what is going to gel everything nicely together and give you a nice chewy texture, the perfect chew, not a weird chew. So I'm going to put this here in my dough. If you're just now joining us, we are making turtle bread. It's also known as monkey bread. It's great for breakfast. If you want to buy a sampler of ours, it is one of every of our mixes. I'm the owner of Rustic Scoop. If you're just joining us and you don't know what I'm talking about, we have 4 mixes. We are using our sandwich bread mix right now, and it comes with all 4 of our mixes. If you order the sampler, just write sold 100 in the comment box. So I always start on low and then move to medium. So I want to make sure it's all well mixed together. And I'll show you what the dough looks like right now. As it sits, it's going to thicken. And then I'll show you what it looks like again when we're done, because you have to be able to make this into little dough balls. I'm gonna put it down here in my bowl. And then while it sits for a bit and gets thicker, we are going to make our cinnamon and sugar mixture. This is what I forgot to add on the recipe. I really apologize about that. It's very easy. It's not a big thing to be missing, but I will show you how to do it. So you want to take half a cup of granulated sugar of any type. Again, we use coconut sugar, and then you want to do 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, mix them together. And I already mixed because I did it this morning so that I could have a fresh one to show you. I'm gonna put this to the side, give myself some more room. Again, you have the recipe on the blog and it will get updated later today. So I'm gonna take my dish here and we scoop. We're called Rustic Scoop and we scoop a lot. We use scoops to make our mixes and we use scoops all the time in the kitchen when we are actually making full products as well. So this is a scoop, it's approximately 3 tablespoons. So if you don't have a scoop, you can always just use tablespoons as well. So you can see the consistency is thick. It's not sticky, but it's also not dry. So it's a good combination of the two. So what you're gonna do is, and I'm not gonna finish the whole thing, I'll show you several so that we don't take up everybody's time this morning. So you're gonna take scoops a little bit fuller than the scoop, roll up my sleeves, and you're gonna take it and you're gonna make a ball. So I have a little ball of dough, and you're gonna take your cinnamon and sugar mixture that you just made, and that will be added to the instructions later today. And then you're just gonna haphazardly throw your balls into your pan, whether you're using a button pan or the pan that I showed you. If you're just joining us and you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the beginning and watch so you can see, if you don't have a button pan, what you can use instead. Again, if you have questions, let us know. I will check in just a second. I haven't had a chance to check. So you're just gonna roll them all in cinnamon and sugar. And again, you're gonna haphazardly put them in your dish. So I'm gonna scroll up here, hang on just a second, so I can see if there's any questions. Okay, so here we go. Putting them in here, and then I'll show you kind of how haphazard, but you really do want them haphazard. You don't want them symmetrically on top of each other, or your bread just won't be as cool, I don't think, and it won't. There's stuff that you'll put down in the middle of it, and you want it to drip down evenly. It's a cinnamon, sugar, and butter mixture. And then you're gonna start doing them on top of each other. So you wanna go all the way around your pan. Again, I'm not using button pan because mine is already in use, so you can see it in a minute. Okay, so they're gonna start being on top of each other. So you're gonna do a first layer haphazardly, and then you're gonna start doing another layer on top so that they're haphazard all over until you run out of dough. I'm gonna put that to the side because I'm not gonna finish that right now. I'm gonna wash my hands though really super fast because they're sticky. Okay. So next, after you do that, you're going to make your glaze, kind of. It's not really a glaze. Anyways, it's in your instructions. The cinnamon and sugar mixture. It is cinnamon, sugar, and then melted butter. So I will do that right now so you can see what that looks like. I already mixed my cinnamon and sugar together, in all honesty, because I started running out of bowls. Around here we bake a lot and we use lots of utensils, so we do a lot of dishes too. Okay, so all my cinnamon and sugar is mixed. Again, I'm using coconut sugar. You can use whatever granulated sugar you would like. Anything will work. And if you're just now joining us, we are making what we call as turtle bread, other people call monkey bread, because we think it looks more like turtle than monkey. Okay, so then you're gonna add your melted butter in here. This is the ooey gooey delicious part of this recipe, what it makes it delicious, I think. Who doesn't love the ooey gooey of butter and cinnamon and sugar? So if you're just joining us, you can buy our sampler, and it has one of every single one of our mixes. We have a sandwich bread, we have pancake waffle, we have pizza crust mix, and we have chocolate cake and cupcake. They are all gluten-free, they're all top 8 allergen-free, and absolutely delicious. People with and without food restrictions absolutely love them. And so if you fit on any of those spectrums or not at all, we know you are going to love all of our mixes. And if you want them, just comment sold 100 in the comment section and it is yours. Okay, so once you have your cinnamon and sugar mixture together, this is what it's going to look like. And you are going to take it once you have completely filled your dish. Here's your dish if you're just joining us. And it is going to be full of monkey dough or turtle bread dough balls. And then you're gonna drizzle this on top evenly all the way around the whole entire thing. And then you're gonna let it rise for 30 minutes, and then you're gonna bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. I go on the 25-minute end of the spectrum because I love soft and gushy. If you like a little bit more firm, you can do 30 minutes, so it's up to you what that looks like. And then when it is done baking, like mine is, ta-da! Isn't that amazing? We love TV, right? Everything comes out so fast. But it is easy to make and quick, and then you just have to bake it. So here is the turtle bread when you are done. It looks delicious. This is still warm because I took it out just a few minutes before I hopped on. That's why I was a little bit late trying to get it all out for you. So that is what it looks like in a bundt pan. And then the way to get it out of your bundt pan, you want to let it cool for a bit, not straight out of the oven, but you don't want to wait so long that the sugar starts to crystallize and then it's harder to get out. So the best way to do it is you're going to take a plate and you're going to flip it upside down, and very carefully but quickly you're going to flip. Yay, I'm so glad that I didn't make it go everywhere. Oh. Okay, here is the finished product. And again, it's warm, right? So then you want to glaze it. I just have powdered sugar. There's no real set amount, it just depends how much you want. So I have powdered sugar, and then you can even see the steam still coming off of this. You want to take milk. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of milk. And you're just gonna add a tablespoon or so at a time. It really doesn't take much to make a glaze with milk. So you wanna be really careful how much you add and do it very slowly. And with turtle bread, you can either pick it off one piece at a time, or if you want to, because you're having strangers, well, maybe not family members, maybe they're not strangers, but to eat with you, maybe you want to cut it instead. Whatever you want to do is totally fine. Typically it's intended to pick off of, but again, whatever works for you is totally fine. So I'm just mixing here, doing my best with one hand. Make this glaze. And you want to make it as thick or as runny as you want. Now you want it not so runny that it's going to run everywhere, but you don't want it so thick that it won't spread. So there's a happy medium. Let me put this down so I can use two hands. Often thankful for two hands and often wish I had four. Anybody else? Okay, so we're almost done here, and I'll show you after I make a big mess, don't mind me, what I like mine to look like when I'm done. So you can see we almost have the right consistency here, and you do want to wait until your turtle bread is almost fully cool, or it's just gonna melt into everything else, and that kind of defeats the point. You want a nice glaze, so you do want to wait until your turtle bread is almost fully cool, but again, you also want to serve it while it's not cold. If you're gonna wait and serve it later, I would reheat it slightly and then glaze. Okay, so here is my glaze. You can see it's thick, and I could drizzle it on my turtle bread, but it's not watery. and it's also not so thick that it won't drizzle. So that is it. That is how we make it. So this is the finished product. This is turtle bread. It is gluten-free. It is top 8 allergen-free. It does contain coconut if you can't have coconut. You don't have to make it with coconut sugar. This mix doesn't contain coconut, so it could be completely coconut-free if you follow directions and you don't use coconut sugar. It will be top 9 allergen-free, and again, well loved by all. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you have questions, let us know. I'm happy to go back and answer questions or send me an email or a DM. So thanks so much for joining us.